It does not matter whether or not your progress today will lead to any kind of success in the long term or in the long run necessarily. What matters is that over time, over the long term, over the long run, your cumulative success and progress from days like this, days like today, days where you try to be productive, the net result of all of these days, the overall progress that you've made in all of those days will eventually lead to some sort of success or hitting your goals, whatever those goals are. Like in the long term, if you kept going like this, eventually you will hit success. Eventually you will hit your goals. That is what matters. It doesn't matter whether or not what you did today will actually translate directly to success that you can feel and get excited about it. You may feel like you've done nothing today. You didn't make a difference today. It was not worth it. You wasted your energy for nothing. You will never get there, wherever you want to get to, because of the little progress that you've made today. No matter how huge that progress is, it will always feel like this. It will never feel like it's enough. What you did today will never feel like it's enough, even if it's huge, even if it's amazing, even if it is too big compared to whatever you've accomplished in one day in the past. It will still feel like nothing, not enough, because no matter how huge it is the progress of just one day. It can only get you so far. It's not going to move mountains. It's not going to transform you from zero to hero. It will always feel like it's not good enough. You have to distance yourself and your mind away from the last instance of progress or achievement that you've made in order to feel it, in order to get rewarded by it. It's like when you look at an electron with light, you change its place and now you cannot see its original location after you've tried to look at it. You cannot look at your progress when it is still fresh without changing it, which means you will never feel rewarded by it when it's still recent. It has to be too long ago, and then you would look at it and think, oh my god, I have no idea how on earth have I managed to do this. You will be really very proud of what you've done. But it has to take time. It has to exist in the past. It cannot be recent. You will never feel good about your achievement today. Stop letting that be a discouraging factor for you. Stop letting that be something that frustrates you and makes you feel like no matter what I do, it's never going to be good enough, so I quit. It will never feel good enough. You just have to be consistent that over the long term, you will look at your past progress and feel amazed. It will then be enough when it's in the past, and it is huge enough because it is the cumulative progress of a ton of days in the past. It is not just the progress of one day. It's the progress of months and years. Then you will look at it and think, that is enough. That is amazing. That is something that I'm proud of. I really made a difference. I really made a progress. It will never feel like what you've accomplished today is enough, no matter what. When it comes to long-term success, when it comes to feeling, yeah, I'm successful, when it comes to, all my life, or in the long term, as a grand vision for your life. Not just, oh yeah, I was successful today, I didn't fail today. But am I successful throughout my whole life? Not necessarily because of today. It will never be enough what you did today when it comes to feeling successful in the long term. That does not mean it will not make you feel good or rewarded to an extent. But it will not feel like it's enough, as in, man, I feel like no matter what I do, I'm not making any difference, so I quit. You will always get that feeling. Do not let the discouragement that comes to you from moving mountains today and still thinking that this is not enough, do not think because of that you should quit, because no matter how hard you try, you'll never make it. It has nothing to do with this. It is just because the little progress that you do in one day will never be enough to make you feel like you'll be successful in the long term. It has to be the cumulative effect and result of months and years of work, and the overall progress made by all of this is what's going to make you successful. Because we have very limited energy. We have very limited capacity for work. We have very easy fatigability. to an extent that is mind-blowing, to an extent that makes you, if I kept going on like this, one small step at a time, I'll never make it. And you will hate yourself for that. But this is what humans are. We're not machines. We cannot accomplish more than that. You have to work with this. You cannot say, my energy is too low, I'll always lose. Everybody who has succeeded had the same low energy. This is not just you. So you want to tank it and just work hard for one day and then judge yourself for not having arrived yet through the progress that you've accomplished in one day. It will never be enough. That's why you have to be consistent, and then you judge yourself. I've been consistent for years and years, 3 years, 7 years, 10 years, and still I'm nowhere. Now we can judge ourselves and think, what's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? What should I modify? What should I add? What should I remove? But it has to be based upon judging progress of years. It will never feel enough what you accomplish in one day, no matter what. Even if you've moved mountains today, it will always feel like I'm never gonna make it. And you will always have that thought after every major achievement you do in a single day, regardless of how huge that achievement is. The other thing is you will always feel nothing after accomplishment. Because we're not supposed to get pleasure from accomplishment. We're supposed to get reward and a sense of fulfillment and satisfaction and happiness from accomplishment, not pleasure. Pleasure, we get it from food or whatever. We don't get it from achievement. That's why people expect to get pleasure from achievement, and when they don't get it, they get disappointed, and then they quit altogether. Achievement is for a whole different animal. It's for a whole different thing. That's why we're telling you to feel good in order to make achievement, in order to make progress, in order to accomplish more, in order to be able to work in the first place. You have to begin from a state of I feel good, therefore I want to work. I want to be productive. I want to do something. I want to make progress. I want to move the needle forward. Because I already feel good. Because I'm already happy. Because I'm already, feeling pleasure. Not that I will get pleasure from work. Good luck with that. It's not going to happen. But the type of positive thing that you get from accomplishment is different from pleasure. Try to feel it and focus on it, and then you will notice that this is better than any sort of pleasure that you've ever pursued in your whole life. And it will always be worth it. It will be there. But if you're looking for pleasure, you'll never find it, and then you'll quit in its absence because you will never get it from work or accomplishment or anything that you do that makes you feel like you've achieved something today. You will never get pleasure from it, but you will get a positive feeling good state from it. That is different, and it to be distinguished from pleasure. And it will always be worth it, maybe even 1,000,000 times more than pleasure could ever be. You are limited by fatigue, and you will always be limited by information overload. Not of what you consume, but what you create. Whatever that you've created, it has to register in your mind and your brain as something that you've accomplished today. You wanted to do more, but you can't now. You just can't push yourself any further because you're too tired. And that's understandable. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes what stops you at the end of the day is not fatigue. It is information overload of what you've created today, of what you've accomplished today, because you have to know what you've done. It has to register. It has to be processed, or else everything you'll get confused. You will not know what has been done. And now, how come you're going to get rewarded by something that you've not processed? If you have no idea what has taken place today, how are you going to get rewarded by it? How are you going to develop a sense of reward based upon what you've accomplished today if you have no idea what has been accomplished today? You've just been working and you have no idea what you finished, what has been done today. You don't know what you have completed today. Now, how come are you going to get rewarded? So your mind has to always process what you do, not just what you consume or what you read or what you watch, but what you do, what you accomplish, what you create, especially in creativity stuff. So you will find that you're limited by information overload way more than by fatigue. You'll find that I'm not tired, but I have to stop, and my mind is compelling me to stop. But if you understand that this compulsion to stop right now while you're creating something is coming from information overload, Now you'll sympathize and say, oh yeah, I'm not tired, but I'm about to blow. I'll explode if I kept going and push myself. I have to understand this and sympathize with that and not push myself too much, or else I'll hit information overload and decision fatigue, and I will not be able to navigate without making mistakes. I'll screw up and I'll mess up, so it is wise for me to leave now, before it's too late. So you will quit today because of information overload and not by fatigue. So you're limited by a ton of stuff and not just energy. What's going to stop you more often than not is not a feeling of, I have done today and I'm satisfied and now let's leave. But no, you will say, given my limited energy, I should leave now and be satisfied with what I've done today, because I do not have enough energy to push it any further today. So you will leave without fully hitting the satisfaction or fulfillment that you're supposed to reach or get today from your work. You left prematurely. You left because you ran out of energy, not because you've hit satisfaction and fulfillment from what you've done today. Which means you will always not feel that you've fulfilled or satisfied after today's progress. You will always feel like it's not enough. Because I left because I was tired, not because I was happy. Do you understand that? If you leave and say, hey, that's enough for today, because I'm too tired to push it any further, it means you've left not because you feel satisfied or fulfilled. You've left because you're tired. It's totally different. Which means you will never feel like what you've done today is enough. Because you're limited by fatigue and information overload and a gazillion other stuff. Which means you will never feel like what you've done today is enough. But in the long term, having done a ton of other stuff, just like today's progress, the total of all of this will make you feel fulfilled and satisfied and happy. It's going to happen. But it's going to happen in the long term from too many days, from a lot of days, not just one day. Do not let the lack of feeling that what I've done today is enough stop you from going any further. Do not let that make you quit. Because there is nothing wrong with you here, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is the normal way. This is how you will always feel. What will stop you more often than not at the end of the day isn't a feeling of, I have done enough for today, or for one day, or for a whole day. But a feeling of, I have done enough for today, or for one day, or a whole day, given my limited energy and my ability to process information, my information processing ability. How fast can I process stuff? How long will it take me to process everything? My capacity for handling information overload. Your capacity and ability to handle and get through information overload and clear it all from your head and process it to its fullest. You will always be limited by that. Your capacity to handle and deal with information overload. Not because there's something wrong with you, but that's why we always tell you to do something productive with your energy while you still have it, while it's still there. And you always have to know what has taken place, what exactly it is that you've achieved today, in order to feel rewarded by it. What stops you more often than not isn't just fatigue. It's lack of mental space to digest what is to come, to process what you're going to accomplish for the rest of the day. Information overload will always slow you down more than energy or fatigability could ever do. That's why meditation will dramatically increase your productivity, because it makes you capable of working more, even when you're tired, because you know what's taking place right now, and you've processed everything, and you're no longer limited by any sort of information overload. So you can go for more even if you feel tired. You're never satisfied, not because you think that whatever that you'll do will never be enough, because you're never satisfied regardless of what you do, or because you're insatiable somehow. Not because there's something wrong with you, or because you feel you're not good enough. It's not because you're insecure. It's not because there's something wrong with you. It's because when you do something, you become more motivated. And you develop a desire to do more, just because you feel rewarded. And you now want more of what has caused you to feel that rewarded, or to feel good. So you will always want to do more, regardless of how much you've accomplished today. And that's why whatever that you do today will always feel like it's not good enough. Like there are a gazillion reasons that can cause that. It's endless. Do not quit because of that feeling. It has nothing to do with reality. It has nothing to do with what you're doing is not enough to ever get you there. It does not mean that it's hopeless. It does not mean that you'll never make it, regardless of what you do. You will succeed in the long term if you stay consistent. That is just fact.